It makes me wonder if people wouldn't just, who've been unhappy for so many years, couldn't just leave and go find something that made them happy instead of sitting there badgering me about how I'm not doing it right anymore.
They say be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Kody told his wives, if you're not happy, leave. They left, and now he's the victim. Oh, I didn't love them. Oh, they forced themselves on me. Oh, I was miserable, this, that, and the other. Please, sir, sit down somewhere and really take stock of what happened and take responsibility for your actions and stop blaming everybody else around you. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Valerie. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Sister Wives, Season 18, Look Back Part 2. Thanks for everyone who's joined me for Sister Wives. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment and share. Why would they choose to start with this clip? The producers are messy. Anyway, so they start off with a clip of the family mission statement. And so you have different opinions because Christine is very proud of that day and she's very happy. That's a very fond memory for her. Janelle is very proud of the fact that they were able to sort of accomplish this thing. Mary's opinion is that they all came together, came up with this mission statement, and sadly they failed because they were not able to live up to what they said embodies the Brown family. And Kody talks about, oh, there was no loyalty in the family, so that's why we failed. And it's like, who wasn't loyal? Was it just the wives or was it you? You were not loyal to your wives because you emotionally and physically abandoned Mary. You emotionally abandoned Christine and were about to physically abandon her when she packed her bags and left. You then started the same trick on Janelle. You physically sort of abandoned her and then tried to sort of emotionally abandon her. And when things fell apart, then you stood there and said, oh, it's not my fault. So how can you say nobody was loyal in the family? Make that make sense? And the producers are messy because Robyn storms off crying. When she starts crying, nobody runs to sort of detangle her. She's, oh, I can't switch it off. I can't switch it off. How does... They just look at her. She detangles herself. She walks off. You don't see anyone go after her. Then she comes back and she sits down. I'm sorry. You'd expect her, seeing as how distraught she appeared to be when she left, you'd expect her to have puffy eyes, you'd expect her to have a red nose, at least to show that she was crying, but she's no different. And if she really was crying, why didn't the producers show it? Because, you know, we've all seen her act time and time again. I think we're all tired of it. And we barely see any tears. All we hear is a sound and she's constantly sort of wiping her eyes and it's like, okay, it is what it is. And so what do I think? I think they had hope. And for her to say, oh, you know, this family that we all worked hard to, you know, to build and now to look at it, in my opinion, today. And it's like, you came into a family that was already built, a family that was already functional. And then suddenly, while you were within the family exploded, and it seems everybody in the family blames you for some reason or another. We only get to say an hour. They had to live with you 24, you know, however many hours of the day, or had to live with the impact of your being present in their family for 24 hours of the day, 365 days of the year. So I'm sorry, but I don't empathize with Robyn. I really don't. If she really was this worried about the family sort of exploding, she should have pushed Kody to go and see his other boys. She should have pushed Kody to have contact with his other children. When Kody insisted that he wanted his children to apologize, she should have called the children and sort of tried to make amends with the children, and then herself and the children should have sat Kody down and they should have bridged that gap. But she didn't. So she can't sit there and cry crocodile tears that, oh, my family is broken. Well, where were you when your family was breaking up? You were sitting there in your $2 million house, living the life. So please sit down and keep quiet. So they show a clip of the wives and how they got along when Kody wasn't there. They went shopping. The trip that they took, I think it was Chicago. They went to, I don't remember. Anyway, they seemed very happy. And all the ex-wives mentioned that, you know, it seemed when Kody wasn't there and they were just sister wives. They had amazing times. But sadly, when Kody was there, obviously the jealousy aspect would be there. I think that was the main reason why they always struggled when Kody was around. And so, you know, they reminisce on their relationships. Mary says she's open to getting to mending relationships, but she's not holding her breath, which she has always been open to. Christine said no, she's not open to sort of mending bridges with Meri, neither is she interested in mending bridges with Robyn. And it's sad. It really is sad, because they spent, especially with Meri, they spent a lot of years together as part of a family, and it's sad that they've decided to sort of split up this way. You then have the clip about the divorce. I feel like this is how I feel. I feel like Robyn and Kody came up with the idea to get a divorce from Meri and marry Robyn, because even single people, as long as you have the capacity and the proof that you can provide for a child, you're able to adopt a child. So I don't get why Kody needed to marry Robyn legally, unless this is a law in Vegas. I don't know. I don't live in Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. So maybe somebody who lives in Vegas, please comment. And you can see Meri was distraught. First of all, when she spoke to them, they didn't appear as fazed as you'd expect them to be, as sort of like taken aback that, oh, this is such a kind gesture. Yeah, they tried to pretend, but they knew it was coming. I feel like Kody had sort of put the idea in Meri's head and had convinced her that, we are trying to build our family. Nothing is going to change within our family. I need you to just do this so that we don't lose Robyn's children. And Meri, because she always believed in the principle of polygamy and living a plural life, I think this is why she went along with it. I don't get why Robyn went along for the papers to be signed for the divorce. That I don't get, because if she was supporting her, why didn't all the other wives come? That bit I don't get. And I'm happy that Janelle has reinforced something that I've always said, that I feel like, because you could tell Christine and Janelle were not happy when Meri divorced Kody. And Janelle has actually uttered what I felt and what I've always said, that Meri is an honorable person. She would never have taken Kody's assets and just held on to them. Had she been Kody's legal wife, when they bought Coyote Pass, every wife would have got 3 acres and Kody would have got his 2. But because she's not Kody's legal wife, this is why there is now this shift whereby Kody and Robyn have 8 acres, Janelle has 4 acres, and Meri's left with 2. And Janelle said, she is a principled person, and I always knew that she would be fair, but I didn't know how Robyn would be. I said it, and I've said it, and I've said it, that the reason why Kody's marriages worked with all the other wives, I feel like, why they were functional, even if they were not happy, was because when Meri was the legal wife, she used to force him to do stuff, whereas Robyn monopolized him. And this is why they are where they are, in the sense that the family has split up. Oh, it's starting to get juicy. So they show the family, the wives and Kody sort of go to a retreat with their family counselor, and they're sort of running this activity, this scenario, sort of, where they're sort of asked, can you stand how close or how far you feel, or in what position you feel you are next to Kody. And already Robyn is standing next to Kody, and Meri stands beside Robyn. I think looking at that, Meri was sort of saying her link to Kody comes through Robyn. Without Robyn, she's not linked to Kody. Janelle was a further distance from Kody, and Christine didn't know where she stood because she kept walking around in circles. She couldn't find her place. And at one point, they asked Kody to stand in the middle so that they could surround him. And he refused. He said, no, because otherwise that means you're all linked to me. Your only link is me. And it's like, yeah, if they're not married to you, chances are they wouldn't be together. So you have to stand in the middle, as Janelle said, so that you're equal distance from every single wife. Otherwise, where you're standing, it means that Robyn is the closest to you, followed by Janelle. Then probably Meri, and Christine is out there in the wind not knowing where she stands. And for him to refuse that didn't make sense. And then, so they have this conversation, because Janelle has always been, I think what's happened with the 4 sister wives when they were still married to Kody, I think Robyn was Meri's link to Kody, and Janelle was Christine's lifeline to Kody. So Janelle was sort of asking, are you still interested in polygamy, and what is your idea, or how do you see us moving forward? And he sort of, I question, I don't want to be an advocate for plural marriage. And it's like, but you still got 4 wives, so what are you saying? Are you saying you don't want your 4 wives, or what? Make it make sense. Don't speak from both sides of your mouth. If you're not interested in these ladies, tell them and let them go. And so for Robyn to then turn it and make it about herself doesn't make sense. All the wives, well, not Meri, but most of the wives, especially Christine, have said that Kody favored Robyn's house. He spent most of his time at Robyn's house. Even Meri said because Kody and Robyn had a great relationship, he seemed to find it easier to spend time with her than with anybody else. And so I think the problem was Robyn came into the family. The wives had to adjust to make room for her, one. And then two, once she was in the family, she tried to sort of assert her dominance in the family by sort of making sure that Kody gave her adequate time, I think because of the bad feelings she had when the wife said, no, he can't sort of spend time with you when you're his girlfriend. You're not yet married. Once you're married, then we can sort of say he spends every other fortnight, or he spends every fortnight with you. You can't, split the nights with us if you're not married to him. And I think this is where when she came in, she wanted to assert her dominance and make sure that she had Kody when she wanted him at her house. Because I remember in one of the clips, she even said, oh, well, if I don't want him to leave, I try and keep him back when it's time for him to leave. And so her crying and saying, oh, are you saying I'm the reason why he doesn't want and it's like, please sit down. Why do you have to be the center of attention every single time? Why do you have to always make it about you? This is why Christine said you are dramatic and you refuse, but your actions have shown otherwise. And so I get where Christine is coming, that Robyn might have liked the idea of polygamy, but she didn't practice it. For Robyn to say, I don't know what she means. Well, when you're giving him a garage to put his car, when you're giving him an office to spend more time in your house, that was you not being interested in polygamy. Because otherwise, you could have told all the other wives, let's create an office in your house for him. That way, if he's in your house today, he's in your house, he's working, he's doing everything in your house and he stays there. He doesn't need to go to somebody else's house for an office. She showed that she wasn't interested in polygamy by taking him away for 11 days for a honeymoon after Christine had given birth. She showed that she wasn't interested in polygamy when she kept him in her house during COVID and didn't push him out to go and see the rest of his wives. She showed that she only wanted him when Janelle was living in a trailer, regardless of the fact that she was the main breadwinner for the family and she was living in a $2 million house. Why didn't she ask Janelle to come and share the house with her? Why didn't she sort of give her a couple of rooms in her house to put her stuff? Why did Janelle have to go and put her stuff in storage? She really wasn't interested in polygamy. In my opinion, she was the bad sister wife, regardless of what Kody says about Christine. Anyway, I digress. So we have Janelle bring everybody to Coyote Pass to sit down and sort of discuss the values, and sort of I think they're trying to find out what's wrong with this, with our family, what's wrong with the marriages, why can we not sort of recalibrate and sort of get on the same page? And you have Kody saying, I don't care anymore because we don't share the same values. And apparently this was after COVID. I remember in the previous clip, Robyn was saying that, Kody was really put off, plural marriage when Christine didn't want the one family idea. Christine wanted the one family idea. She didn't want to live under the same roof because of the chaos that had been there when they lived under the same roof in Utah. But she wanted the one family. She was happy with people building on the land and sort of meeting up from time to time. But she did not want the idea of having to share a kitchen with someone, having to share a living space with someone. That she did not like. And so to blame her for Kody's shortcomings is really sad. And you can see that all the wives, this is when they picked up that, he really doesn't want plural marriage. He's been in paradise with Robyn and doesn't want the rest of us. Meri actually says that, he had emotionally abandoned us. He had physically abandoned us and was trying to push us away. I think he didn't want to be the bad guy who kicked his wives away. He wanted to pretend as though he was really trying, but was, secretly sort of pushing them away so that they could just walk away, which eventually they did because they were fed up of being his punching bags and him sort of saying whatever and doing whatever he wanted and not, having to sort of pay for the repercussions of the failure of the marriages. Now, yes, he is suffering in the sense that the finances are gone, but I don't think emotionally he's suffering. Emotionally, I think his ego is bruised. I think he's sort of upset at the idea that he doesn't have his punching bags around. But I think the thing he misses the most about the ladies is their finances. That's just my opinion. It's their finances because they were his breadwinners and he just got to live this paradise life with Robyn. And for Robyn to pretend, he really liked, plural marriage. Oh, please, are we watching the same show? Why do you want to tell us what we cannot see? He's not doing or saying or acting in a way that someone would act if he was interested in his wives or if he was interested in his children. And Meri brings up that he used to be very attentive to his wives. He used to be very attentive to his children. And to see him go from that to suddenly spending all his time in one household with one set of children is heartbreaking. I think if Christine didn't bring Truly to him, I don't think he would make time to go and see her, or he would really make an effort. I think it's only because Christine is sort of wanting to build that relationship, that's why he's interested. So they show the clip of Meri and Cody on their final anniversary date or whatever it was, and Meri's sort of saying, this is the first time we're meeting up since the last time we met up for our last anniversary. And Cody's like, oh, you're not courting me. And it's like, it should go both ways. It should go both ways. Why should Meri be the one seeking your attention when you are not paying her any attention? And at the same time, he's sort of telling her, I'm not coming. And it's like, which is it? I feel like Kody told these women what they wanted to hear. The moment he married Robyn, he told them what they wanted to hear in order for him to get the green light on the show. And when the show was successful, he kept them sort of entertained, or he kept them sort of within line so that they could continue to be on the show and continue to sort of adhere to their contracts of being a plural family. And he really had checked out. And I think once he got what he wanted, which was, you know, he got the money, they got to go to Vegas, they built the house, and then Robyn decided that no, she wanted to move to Coyote Pass because of her child, because apparently her son had been enrolled in college in Flagstaff. He then told the women what they wanted to hear. He told them he wanted to work on their marriages. He told them he was interested, and then got them to Flagstaff and abandoned them. And he expected them to stay and still sort of play along, play nice with him. And when they decided that, no, we're not going to continue to be dragged along for nothing, we're done, we're leaving. Because he told them, if you're not happy, leave. And they left. And for him to say, oh, you know, I was upset because they said once Kody dies, we'll be best friends and we'll be getting along very well, and yet they haven't been that. And it's like, every clip that's shown, Robyn is the one who's saying that. Meri, Janelle, and Christine are not saying anything. Robyn is the one who said it in front of his mom. Robyn is the one who said it in a confessional. So why was he upset with the rest of the wives? Why is he blaming them for what the love of his life said? Why? And he asked them, you know, if you're not happy, leave. And they left. So he has to deal with it, and he has to be man enough to accept ownership of his own mistakes in this relationship. He promised these ladies that he was interested in plural marriage, as Janella said. He wanted to live by the principle. He sowed into his relationships up until the time he met Robyn, and then he decided to abandon all of them. And now he's upset that, oh, they said they wanted a plural marriage, but they didn't live up to it. Oh, they said they would only get along once I was dead. And it's like, they didn't say that. Robyn said that. So maybe you need to speak to Robyn and leave the rest of the wives alone and stop blaming them for something that they didn't do, or for something that doesn't align with the storyline that you're aiming for. So they show the clip of the conversation Christine had with Kody when she decided she was ready to move on, and she didn't want a marriage with Kody anymore because obviously he had abandoned her emotionally, and she had asked him not to sort of move his stuff out of her home because he said he wasn't going to be physically intimate with her. And so she couldn't see any other relationship would have just been him being a dad, and he didn't need to stay in her house in order to be her dad, did he? No, he didn't. And so that conversation then leads to Christine sort of saying that she's leaving, she's telling the wives, and she sort of tells Robyn that at the moment, she was more or less saying, I want peace, so I want to sort of nurture the relationships that I've always had with the people that are close to me. Everybody else, give me a moment to sort of calibrate and see where I stand, which makes sense. And for Kody to stand up and to blow up and sort of make it more about Christine than it was about the fact that he was upset that Christine refused to be friends with Robyn after she left is hilarious. And I give it to Meri because she finally owned up and she said, now I can tell the truth. I was not close friends with Christine and Janelle, so I couldn't take their sides. I wasn't in the Robyn and Kody relationship, and I was trying to build a relationship with Kody. So I think she was trying to be a neutral party, and in her trying to be a neutral party, people misunderstood it as her taking sides. So she disagrees with what happened and how the relationship broke up. But I'm happy that Meri is always going to be very sort of diplomatic in how she addresses situations, and she's never going to say or do anything that hurts anyone. especially in the public eye. And so for her not to mention what she disagreed in relation to how Kody and Christine's relationship broke up is amazing. And I love that for her. For Robyn to continue to play victim, I don't get it. Kody, the knife in the kidney scenario, I don't get it. And for him to say, I wanted to marry somebody else that I was in love with before I married Janelle. So he's telling me that he married 2 wives, but he was still harboring feelings for somebody else. Make it make sense. I don't believe that. Apparently, the lady was Meri's friend. I think the reason why he's saying it's Meri's friend is because he knows Meri would never dispute him on camera. She might dispute him privately, but she would never say anything sort of sarcastic or anything that might put him in more sort of bad books with the public. So this is why he's trying to bring Meri into it. And I love the fact that Christine said he's lying. There was never anybody else. And if there was, why is he bringing that person up now? We haven't heard of this other person that he was in love with before he married Janelle for 18 seasons. And suddenly now it's convenient. He decides to bring it up. Make that make sense? The math ain't mathing. And I don't know why he continues to want to play victim. He didn't love these women. So he means to tell me he didn't love all his 3 OG wives, but he had a woman he was harboring feelings for and suddenly left her to go and marry Robyn. That doesn't make sense. I think this is something that he and Robyn came up with and is trying to sell it for sympathy and to get the fans to sort of dislike Christine. So they show the clip of, the big fight between Kody and Janelle. And Kody kicks off. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I'm so upset. Maybe I was a crappy husband. Janelle was a crappy wife. And it's like, why won't you see it? You're wrong. You'll have to admit to your wrongdoings. So instead of doing that, you're going to use your anger and your temper tantrum to try and stop the producers from getting you to watch it. I wish they'd forced him to watch it. I wish they'd forced him to answer questions and sort of explain what he meant, because he was very disrespectful. I think the problem was Janelle is the one with the most sons. And because of that, some of her sons are very hard-headed. People like Hunter, Garrison. I think her first son, oh my God, I've forgotten his name. What's his name? Somebody remind me in the comments. And Gabriel are more sort of empathetic and more understanding and more compassionate, whereas Hunter and Garrison are just as stubborn as Kody. And because of that, he doesn't know how to sort of manipulate them or get his way. He knows they won't budge. What they stand on business. So I think this is why he was trying to get Janelle to pick sides with him. That way her children would end up just getting along with him, just because they were trying to sort of respect their mum. And for him to refuse to see that was unacceptable. I love the fact that Janelle still recognizes that, that was the end of their relationship and that she wants nothing to do with him, because he has shown he has no respect for her. He only had respect for her money. That's my opinion. I don't think he really cared about her as much. I think he cared about the fact that she was the main breadwinner, and this is why he wanted to keep her sweet and keep her in the family. But I don't think emotionally he was still invested in her. I think once he got to Robyn and Robyn whispered in his ear, that was it for him. For him to not still have spoken to his children and still be waiting for them to come to him, well, he's got a long time to wait for them. Christine is right to say, as the parent, he should be the bigger person and he should facilitate a conversation with his children and sort of reach an understanding. If someone has to apologize, they have to apologize, and that's it, and they move on. So they then end off with Meri and Cody's, the breakup of their relationship, the final scene in sort of season 18. And Meri is saying, I think the thing that hurts Meri the most is the fact that before she married this man, she asked him, will you ever abandon me or will you ever leave me? And he said no. And he said he would always love her and, he really loved her and this is why he was marrying her. And then for him to suddenly turn around and say, I never loved her. I just married her out of duty and continued to perform my duties as a husband. I think this is the most heartbreaking part for her, because she actually says, at least he could have said he loved me when he married me and then he grew out of love. That I will accept. But for him to say, I never loved you right from the moment I married you is something that I cannot sort of contend with. And I think no one would be able to bear that, because he could have left her if he really didn't love her that much and she could have married somebody else. And so for him to say that is a jackass. He shows he's a jackass. And for him to then turn around and says that, oh, I married her, I was very miserable, and then I decided to dilute the relationship by bringing in a wife and then another wife. Well, he said he didn't want Janelle and Christine. They begged to be in the family. So if you're already in a miserable relationship, why bring two more people in that will make you just as miserable? What's the point? What's the point? And for if he was so in love with somebody else, why didn't he marry the person he was in love with to neutralize the hate that he had for Meri? Kody is a jackass. I'm going to repeat. I really don't like saying negative things about people I don't know, but the fact that he says these things about people that he was married to for years and has children with, and then has the audacity to not take responsibility for his actions is sad. It's heartbreaking, but what do you do? And for drama queen to sit there and start crying, I don't get it. I don't know why she always needs to be the center of attention in every scenario, whether it's somebody else's relationship that's breaking up or whether it's somebody else just having a conversation or just a reflective moment. I don't get it, and I don't know why Meri entertained her for so long. I think she was entertaining Robyn just because she wanted to, or was hoping this would mend her relationship with Kody, which it didn't. And for Robyn to say, oh, we all failed and we'll have to bear with that. It seems everybody else is doing just fine without Kody and you. It's only you who's going to contend with what happened to the breakup of this family, because after you came in, the whole family broke up. Yes, they didn't get along, but they were still functional before you came in. So maybe you need to sit down and look in the mirror and ask yourself, what did I contribute to the breakdown of this relationship, or the breakdown of these marriages, or the breakdown of this family? Because it seems you are functional, you and your husband are functional, you and your children are functional with your husband, but everybody else fell off the sideway. And Meri was saying, and she's always said, that Kody, regardless of how he felt about Robyn, you should have still maintained these relationships with his other wives and his children. And sadly, he decided to prioritize one wife and her children, and here they are. It's just him on an island left with his wife, and everybody else has moved on, and they seem to be happy and thriving, which I really love for them. It seems the next episode is going to be Christine's wedding, so I can't wait to see that. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys.